Jae-sung lived a quiet life on Earth with his daughter Eun-jung. He used to be a soldier, but now he stayed home and took care of Eun-jung. She was his whole world. One day, Jae-sung went to pick up Eun-jung from school, but she wasn't there. He was worried. He called her friends, but they did not know where she was. Then he got a strange video message. In the video, he saw Eun-jung looking scared. There were strange creatures around her, with scaly green skin and big black eyes. One of the creatures spoke in a hissing voice. It said they were the Kroll, and they had taken Eun-jung. If Jae-sung wanted to see her again, he would have to come and get her from their planet. Jae-sung was filled with fear and anger. He didn't know anything about aliens or spaceships, but he knew he had to save his daughter, no matter what. He went to the government and asked for help. They said they couldn't do anything. The Kroll were too far away and too powerful, but they knew Jae-sung was a good soldier, so they gave him a small spaceship and some weapons. Jae-sung took the ship and flew into space. He had never been off Earth before. Everything was strange and new, but he only thought about Eun-jung. He had to find her and bring her home. He followed the directions the Kroll had sent. It took many days of flying through the darkness. Finally, he saw the planet where they were keeping Eun-jung. It was time to get his daughter back. Jae-sung landed his ship on the planet and got out. He had his gun ready. He didn't know what the Kroll would do, but he was ready to fight. He was an Earth dad on a mission, and nothing would stop him from saving his little girl. Jae-sung crept carefully through the strange alien city. The buildings were tall and made of shiny metal. Everything glowed with eerie blue light. He didn't see any Kroll, but he stayed alert. His gun was ready in his hands. As he turned a corner, he saw a large building with many antennas and satellite dishes on the roof. It looked important. Maybe it was a command center or a communications hub. Jae-sung thought there might be information inside about where they were keeping Eun-jung. He approached the building cautiously. The door was locked, but Jae-sung used his combat skills to break in. Inside, he found himself in a room filled with screens and control panels. He started pressing buttons, hoping to find a clue. Suddenly, an alarm blared. Red lights flashed. Jae-sung had tripped some kind of security system. He heard shouts and running footsteps. The Kroll were coming. Jae-sung looked around frantically. He saw a big red button on the control panel. In a desperate move, he slammed his fist down on it. Immediately, there was a huge explosion. The building shook. Screens went dark. Jae-sung was thrown to the floor. Outside, Kroll soldiers stopped in their tracks. They stared in shock at the smoking ruins of their command center. Their defenses were down. Their communications were cut off. They had no orders, no chain of command. One Kroll turned to the others. "The attack has begun," it said in a shaking voice. "We must surrender before it's too late." Word spread quickly among the Kroll. The invasion had started. The Earthlings had arrived, and their weapons were terrifyingly powerful. If they could destroy the command center so easily, what else could they do? Kroll leaders hurriedly sent out a planetary-wide message. They were surrendering to the Earthlings. All Kroll were ordered to lay down their weapons. They begged for mercy. In the midst of the chaos, Jae-sung stumbled out of the ruined building. He was bruised and dazed, but alive. He looked around at the frightened, submissive Kroll. He didn't understand what was happening. He had just been trying to find his daughter. But as the Kroll bowed before him, Jae-sung began to realize the power he had accidentally wielded. He, a single Earthling, had brought an entire alien race to its knees. He felt a sense of grim satisfaction. Maybe now they would take him to Eun-jung. Jae-sung picked up his gun and pointed it at the nearest Kroll. "Take me to the human girl," he growled. The Kroll nodded frantically. It would do whatever this mighty Earthling demanded. As word of Jae-sung's victory spread, the reputation of Earth grew. If one human could conquer the Kroll, what else were Earthlings capable of? Jae-sung had started something bigger than he ever intended, and he was only just beginning his journey to save his daughter. Jae-sung's accidental victory over the Kroll sent shockwaves through the galaxy. News spread quickly of the lone Earthling who had brought an entire alien race to its knees. On planet after planet, people whispered about this legendary warrior. They said he had weapons that could destroy cities with a single blow. They said his combat skills were unmatched. Some even claimed he had special powers, that he could control minds or shoot lightning from his eyes. As the stories grew, so did Earth's reputation. Many alien races had never paid much attention to the small blue planet. Humans were seen as primitive, not yet advanced enough for galactic affairs. But now, everyone was talking about Earth. Some saw opportunity in this new development. They thought Earth could be a powerful ally or a lucrative trading partner. They sent messages to Earth's leaders, offering friendship and cooperation. Others were more wary. They feared that Earth might become a threat. If one human could defeat the Kroll, what could a whole army of Earthlings do? They began to make defensive plans, just in case. Amidst all this, Jae-sung continued his search for Yeonjung. The Kroll had told him she was being held on a distant planet, but they didn't know exactly where. Jae-sung had to keep looking. As he traveled from system to system, Jae-sung's legend continued to grow. Alien security forces were on high alert, watching for any sign of the formidable Earthling. But Jae-sung was always one step ahead. He slipped past their defenses, leaving a trail of confusion and alarm in his wake. Some began to embellish the story, adding their own details. They said Jae-sung could fly through space without a ship. They claimed he could crush planets with his bare hands. The tales became more and more fantastical. But Jae-sung wasn't interested in fame or reputation. He barely noticed the stir he was causing. His mind was focused solely on Yeonjung. Every waking moment was dedicated to finding her. Deep down, a small part of him wondered if he was in over his head. He was just one man, searching an entire galaxy. But then he would think of Yeonjung's face, and his resolve would harden. No matter how long it took, no matter what he had to do, he would find his daughter. As Jae-sung pressed on, the galaxy held its breath. Everyone wondered what the Earthling would do next. What feats would he accomplish? What worlds would he conquer? They didn't understand that Jae-sung's mission was personal. He wasn't trying to start a galactic war or establish Earth's dominance. He was just a father trying to save his child. But intentionally or not, Jae-sung was changing the course of galactic history. Earth was now a major player on the cosmic stage. And it was all because of one determined dad who would stop at nothing to rescue his daughter. After months of searching, Jae-sung finally discovered a lead on his daughter's whereabouts. An informant revealed that Yeonjung was being held in a secret prison facility located in the heavily fortified Zorgan system. The Zorgans were known for their advanced security measures and their ruthless treatment of prisoners. Their prison facilities were considered impenetrable. Even the most seasoned galactic warriors feared being captured by the Zorgans. Jae-sung knew that rescuing Yeonjung from the Zorgan prison would be his most challenging mission yet. The prison was guarded by an array of sophisticated surveillance systems, force fields, and heavily armed patrols. It was designed to prevent any unauthorized entry or escape. Furthermore, the Zorgan system was located in a highly secure sector of the galaxy. Entry into Zorgan space was strictly controlled, with multiple checkpoints and identification requirements. Any unauthorized ship entering the system would be immediately detected and dealt with by the Zorgan military. Despite these formidable obstacles, Jae-sung was undeterred. His parental instincts and love for his daughter fueled his determination. He began to formulate a plan to infiltrate the Zorgan system and breach the prison's defenses. However, Jae-sung also realized that he could not accomplish this mission alone. The Zorgan prison was too heavily guarded for a single person to overcome, no matter how skilled or determined they were. He would need help from individuals with specific expertise and resources. Jae-sung started to consider potential allies who could assist him in his rescue operation. He needed individuals with knowledge of the Zorgan system, experience in infiltration and prison breaks, and access to advanced technology and weaponry. As he contemplated his options, Jae-sung knew that he would have to be cautious in his recruitment. Not everyone in the galaxy could be trusted, and he couldn't risk word of his plans reaching the Zorgans. He would have to vet his potential team members carefully and only share information on a need-to-know basis. Jae-sung's next step would be to start reaching out to his contacts and gathering a team for the mission. He knew it would take time and resources to plan and execute the prison break, but he was willing to do whatever it took to save his daughter. The knowledge of Eun-jung's location renewed Jae-sung's sense of purpose and urgency. He was closer than ever to reuniting with his daughter, but he also knew that the greatest challenges lay ahead. The fate of his mission and his daughter's life would depend on his ability to assemble a team and execute a flawless plan against the formidable Zorgan defenses. As Jae-sung began the process of assembling a team for the prison break, he focused on finding individuals with the specific skills and knowledge needed for the mission. His first recruit was Kwang-sun, a brilliant but eccentric scientist who had extensive knowledge of Zorgan technology. Kwang-sun had once been a leading researcher in the Zorgan Science Division before becoming disillusioned with their ruthless practices. He had defected and gone into hiding, but his expertise would be invaluable in breaching the prison's advanced security systems. Jae-sung tracked down Kwang-sun and convinced him to join the mission, appealing to his sense of moral obligation to stand against Zorgan tyranny. Next, Jae-sung sought out Mai-cha, a skilled hacker and pilot. Mai-cha had a reputation for being able to infiltrate even the most secure computer networks and navigate through treacherous space environments. Her skills would be crucial for hacking into the prison's control systems and piloting the team's ship through the heavily guarded Zorgan space. Mai-cha was initially reluctant to join, as she preferred to work alone and avoid risky entanglements. However, Jae-sung persuaded her by offering a substantial payment and the challenge of pulling off an impossible feat. Mai-cha's competitive nature and confidence in her abilities ultimately won over, and she agreed to be part of the team. The final member of the crew was Sung-min, a former Zorgan military officer who had become disillusioned with the regime's cruelty and defected. Sung-min's insider knowledge of Zorgan military protocols and the prison's layout would be essential for planning and executing the infiltration. Sung-min was the most difficult to recruit, as he was wary of trusting outsiders and risking his hard-earned freedom. Jae-sung had to earn Sung-min's trust by demonstrating his own commitment to the cause and the depth of his love for his daughter. Sung-min eventually agreed to join, seeing in Jae-sung a shared sense of purpose and a chance to strike back at the Zorgan regime. With his team assembled, Jae-sung began the meticulous process of planning the prison break. The crew spent weeks gathering intelligence, studying the prison schematics, and devising strategies to overcome the various security measures. They also worked on procuring the necessary equipment, weapons, and resources for the mission. Throughout the planning process, Jae-sung served as the driving force, keeping the team focused on the objective and motivating them through the challenges. His unwavering determination and leadership helped to forge the disparate individuals into a cohesive unit, each committed to the success of the mission. As the plan took shape, the team knew that they would face incredible odds and danger. The Zorgan prison was the most heavily fortified in the galaxy, and any attempt to breach it would be met with swift and deadly force. However, they also knew that they had the skills, the resourcefulness, and the determination to succeed where others had failed. For Jae-sung, the completion of the team and the plan represented a crucial milestone. He was now closer than ever to rescuing his daughter, and he had the means to make it happen. The next step would be to put the plan into action and face the greatest challenge of his life. The fate of Eun-jung and the future of the galaxy would soon hang in the balance. With the plan in place and the team ready, Jae-sung and his crew launched their daring mission to infiltrate the Zorgan prison and rescue Eun-jung. The first stage of the operation relied heavily on Mai-cha's hacking skills. She successfully penetrated the prison's outer security systems, temporarily disabling the sensors and creating a blind spot for the team to approach undetected. Under the cover of the security blackout, Jae-sung and Sung-min, disguised as Zorgan guards, infiltrated the prison. Sung-min's knowledge of the prison's layout and protocols allowed them to navigate the complex maze of corridors and checkpoints, avoiding detection by the regular patrols. As they approached the high-security wing where Yeon-jung was being held, Kwang-sun's expertise came into play. Using a device he had engineered based on his knowledge of Zorgan technology, Kwang-sun was able to scramble the biometric scanners that controlled access to the restricted area. This allowed Jae-sung and Sung-min to slip through into the heavily guarded section of the prison. Locating Yeon-jung's cell, Jae-sung used the hacking tools provided by Maicha to override the locking mechanism. As the doors slid open, Jae-sung's heart leaped with joy and relief at the sight of his daughter. Yeon-jung, though weakened by her captivity, was overjoyed to see her father and eager to escape her confinement. Their reunion was short-lived, however, as alarms began to sound throughout the prison. The team's intrusion had been detected, and the Zorgan guards were mobilizing to stop them. Jae-sung and Sung-min had to fight their way out, engaging in fierce firefights with the prison's security forces. In the chaos of the escape, Kwang-sun activated another of his devices, which caused a series of targeted malfunctions in the prison's power and control systems. This created additional confusion and disruption, buying the team precious time to make their way back to their entry point. Meanwhile, Maicha, monitoring the situation from the teen's ship, used her hacking skills to manipulate the prison's surveillance and communication systems. She fed false information to the Zorgan command, leading them to believe the intrusion was a larger attack happening in a different part of the prison. This diversion drew some of the security forces away from Jae-sung and his team, easing their escape. As they fought their way out, Jae-sung and Sung-min also freed a number of other prisoners, leading to a general uprising within the facility. The added confusion and chaos served to cover their retreat as the Zorgan guards struggled to contain the spreading unrest. Finally, the team managed to make it back to their infiltration point, where Maicha was waiting with the ship. They boarded quickly, with Jae-sung keeping Yeon-jung close and shielding her from the ongoing firefight. As soon as everyone was aboard, Maicha gunned the engines, and the ship blasted off, quickly escaping the Zorgan system before reinforcements could arrive. In the aftermath of the prison break, the team took stock of their situation. They had succeeded in their primary mission of rescuing Yeon-jung, striking a blow against the Zorgan regime in the process. However, their actions had also sown chaos and destruction within the prison, unintentionally aiding a larger prisoner uprising. As they made their escape, the team knew that their actions would have far-reaching consequences. The Zorgans would undoubtedly seek retribution for the breach of their most secure facility, and the galactic balance of power had been thrown into disarray. Jae-sung and his team had set in motion a chain of events that would change the course of the galaxy, even as they celebrated the reunion of a father and daughter. The successful prison break and the escape of Jae-sung's team sent shockwaves through the Zorgan system and beyond. The Zorgan leadership was thrown into turmoil as they tried to understand the scale and implications of the security breach. Initial reports suggested that the prison had been attacked by a well-coordinated Earth force, leading to a complete breakdown of the facility's defenses. In an emergency meeting of the Zorgan High Council, military leaders presented a grim assessment of the situation. They believed that the attack on the prison was just the first stage of a larger Earth invasion, and that their forces were woefully unprepared to counter such a threat. The Council, fearing the complete collapse of their regime, made a drastic decision. In a shocking announcement, the Zorgan leadership declared their immediate and unconditional surrender to Earth. They agreed to cede control of their entire system to the supposed Earth invaders, hoping to avoid further destruction and loss of life. This announcement was broadcast across the galaxy, stunning observers who had long considered the Zorgans to be one of the most powerful and unyielding regimes in the known universe. The surrender of the Zorgans had a domino effect on the galactic balance of power. Neighboring systems, many of whom had long lived in fear of Zorgan aggression, were quick to follow suit. They too announced their submission to Earth, seeking to align themselves with what they perceived to be the new dominant power in the galaxy. In a matter of days, Jae Sung's personal mission to rescue his daughter had unintentionally led to a complete realignment of the galactic order. Earth, a planet that had previously been considered a minor player on the galactic stage, found itself suddenly in control of a significant portion of the known universe. Back on Earth, the government and public were stunned by the sudden turn of events. They had been following Jae Sung's exploits with a mix of amazement and trepidation, but no one had anticipated such a dramatic outcome. Earth's leaders scrambled to make sense of the situation and to formulate a response to their newfound galactic responsibilities. In the midst of the chaos, Jae Sung and his team were making their way back to Earth, with Jung safe and sound. They had accomplished their primary mission, but they were also coming to terms with the unintended consequences of their actions. Jae Sung, in particular, struggled with the weight of his newfound role as the unwitting catalyst for Earth's ascendance. As they approached Earth, Jae Sung and his team knew that they would face a barrage of questions and demands. Earth's government and people would look to them for guidance and leadership in navigating the new galactic landscape. The team would need to work closely with Earth's leaders to manage the transition and to ensure that Earth was prepared for its new responsibilities. Despite the challenges ahead, Jae Sung took solace in the knowledge that his daughter was safe and that he had fulfilled his promise to protect her. The love and determination of a single father had changed the course of galactic history, setting Earth and the universe on a new and unpredictable path. The future was uncertain, but Jae Sung knew that he and his team would face it together, ready to confront whatever challenges lay ahead. Jae Sung and his team arrived on Earth to a hero's welcome. Crowds gathered to celebrate their return and to express their gratitude for Jung's safe rescue. The reunion between Jae Sung and his wife was an emotional one, as the family embraced each other, tears of joy and relief streaming down their faces. In the days that followed, Jae Sung and his team were called upon to meet with Earth's leaders to discuss the implications of their actions and the new role that Earth found itself in. The team provided detailed briefings on the events that had transpired, offering their insights and recommendations for how Earth should proceed. Earth's government, recognizing the immense challenges and opportunities that lay ahead, moved quickly to establish a new department dedicated to galactic affairs. Jae Sung and his team were appointed as key advisors, their unique experience and knowledge making them invaluable assets in navigating the complex political landscape of the galaxy. As Earth began to take on its new responsibilities, Jae Sung worked tirelessly to ensure a smooth transition. He helped to establish diplomatic relations with the various systems that had pledged their allegiance, working to foster a spirit of cooperation and mutual benefit. He also played a key role in developing Earth's new galactic defense strategy, drawing on his military background and his first-hand knowledge of the threats that existed in the wider universe. Despite the immense pressure and responsibility, Jae Sung never lost sight of what was truly important: his family. He made sure to carve out time to be with Jung and his wife, cherishing every moment he had with them. He knew that his love for his daughter had been the driving force behind everything that had happened, and he was determined to be the best father he could be. As the weeks turned into months, Earth began to settle into its new role as a galactic power. The initial shock and uncertainty gave way to a growing sense of pride and purpose as humanity realized the incredible potential that lay before it. Earth's scientists and engineers worked hand in hand with their new alien allies to develop new technologies and explore the wonders of the universe. Jae Sung, for his part, found himself increasingly drawn to the idea of exploration and discovery. With Jung safe and Earth's future secure, he began to dream of new adventures and challenges. He knew that there were countless worlds and civilizations out there waiting to be discovered, and he felt a deep sense of excitement at the prospect of being a part of that journey. As he looked out at the stars, Jae Sung reflected on the incredible journey that had brought him to this point. He had set out to save his daughter, and in doing so, He had changed the course of human history. He knew that the road ahead would not be easy, but he also knew that he and his team were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. With a sense of pride and determination, Jae-sung stepped forward into the future, ready to lead Earth and humanity into a new era of exploration and discovery. The galaxy would never be the same, and Jae-sung knew that he and his family would be at the heart of it all, ready to face whatever adventures lay ahead.